Guys, before the video starts, I just want to say, a lot of people have not been getting the videos in their subscription feed, so make sure before this video starts, hit that red subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and we got a fucking banger for you guys today. Neecs to the fucking moon, baby. Let's get into the video. Hey guys, quick update. I'm sorry I can't film here. I'm at my big buyers right now. Before meeting up with Cam, I had a big sell before the video. The bed's locked right now currently, but his warehouse closes in like 5 minutes, so we're gonna get there, so we'll keep you guys updated whenever we drop this shit off. Sorry guys, I was a little bit antsy. Their factory's closing up, but I'm very excited. We're on our way to Cam's Kicks. I messaged him, he knows we're coming, so this podcast, I'm not filtering out anything. There's a lot of questions I'm gonna ask him, and I messaged him. He's cool with everything we're about to ask, so be ready. I'm very nervous because this is a big podcast for me, and you know, this is pretty much the last video of the year, so I want to make sure it's a banger for you guys, but we got to switch out some shit. He's buying some shoes off me, so we're going to rotate, but it's fucking like 5 o'clock. We got to still drive to fucking Delaware, so we've got a long way ahead of us. Just ate, feeling fucking good, feel like a cruiserweight right now. I heard Cam's Kicks wants all this smoke with me. He's been telling people that he wants to smoke. You know, I came ready to rock. The big bear's got some big paws. I'm gonna show him who the real little cub is. I'm feeling good, feeling light on my toes right now. Feeling real good. Cam! What's up, baby?
How you doing, man?
What's up?
Doing good?
How are you doing?
Good, bro. You ready to fight?
Dude, listen. Gloves up.
Did you give me a pair of gloves?
We got a pair of gloves right here.
Yeah. All right, let's do it, man.
Make sure the viewers know this had to be slowed down because it was going too fast. Jake Paul, you're next, bitch. I'm such an athletic specimen.
Music in the background.
Yes. Gloves. Tough little bastard here.
I don't know. Wait, is it over?
That's it.
It's over. So who won the fight? Comment down below.
Yeah, comment down below who won the fight. I don't want to have a heart attack here on the floor. I'm about to be exhausted, so.
Yeah. All right, do you want to sell me some shoes now, or what do you want to do? I think we settled this. I mean, I'm trying to buy some shoes.
Let's have some fun here, absolutely. Guys, obviously it was all jokes here. We're all having fun. Cam was a good sport, put up with me. But hey, we're going to get in the business, sell some shoes. See what his pricing's like. Feels pretty surreal coming back here. This was the first video that went well on our channel, so it feels crazy coming back here at a new location.
What are these? I have never seen this pair.
Fire. That velvet's crazy on them.
Huh. Okay.
Really nice quality.
What are these called?
I think those are called, the velour dunks, maybe?
Velour dunks. Huh. That's nice. How long you been in the sneakers for?
Since I was a freshman in high school, so 2011.
2011, wow.
I remember when sneakers first dropped. I was like the first day on there.
Sneakers app?
Yeah.
Could you actually get stuff back
No, I never hit one pair.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
I don't try as much anymore.
You've never hit a pair in your life?
What?
Never. Not even one pair?
I pay resale. I just pay
Okay.
resale.
I got you, man. What'd you want for these?
What do you think's fair?
What do you think's fair?
Can you do 110?
Do 90?
I mean 100.
I got you.
Beautiful. Pretty surreal being here. Remember when he was in his original store, he wasn't there the first day and we stayed in the hotel?
Bro, are you guys, I was going to ask, are you guys staying here tonight? Or what?
No, we're driving home tonight.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh. We said $50, right?
Yeah, free.
Free, I'll take it. SBs? What are these called? I think
Wasted
I had one
Youth.
pair. Wasted Youth, that's
There's
right.
a special box pair. This is the original pair.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What'd you want for him?
I think market's around 240. I like to get like 210. Everything here is fake too, just so you know.
Okay, yeah, we only buy fakes, so that's good.
Knockoffs only here, buddy.
Are you a wasted youth yourself?
Absolutely. I was a degenerate when I was younger. Still a degenerate to this day.
Huh. Be a little far. What did you say, 210?
Yeah.
I was closer to like 150 on this one.
My best would be 180.
Do 160?
You mean in the middle of 170?
Yeah.
That's
Never seen this one either. What are these called?
Your guess is as good as mine. I was checking market on them yesterday. They're around like 135. I like to get retail for them.
What's retail?
Like 110 maybe.
Yeah, I'll do 110.
Beautiful. See if you can give me store credit. I might take some.
Yeah, I'll give you more store credit
Absolutely.
if you want anything. Strokers 7s. Huh. Haven't seen this one in hand yet.
I don't like them. I love the Olympics. I just don't like that red on them. The new Bucks kind of shit.
It's cool. It's different. I mean, I'm not a big 7s fan, but something a little bit different.
I like the Orion 7s. Those are my favorite.
Oh, those are fire. From like what is that from? Like
2011.
11? Yeah, I was close. What'd you want for these?
I'm not sure what market is on those.
So $5 maybe? I don't know.
You know what? Maybe I should give you money to buy these.
Let's do it. That would be a good business. You got paid to take someone's sneakers. Do like 200.
What was retail on them?
It says retail is 225, so it looks like retail.
210.
Yeah, I'll do 210.
I might be taking store credit because he has some stuff that I like.
So, got some heat, yeah.
That's what I mean. He's got some good pairs. So I'll see what my cash offer is, and then might just do some store credit. These are low. Can you do $100?
Funny thing on these, actually, I got like 12 pairs of these from a what was it? I think it was like a DTLR or something like that. They had a Black Friday sale. They had them all at $60 each. So.
I just want to get rid of them.
Okay. I would do 70.
That's perfect.
Okay. What'd you get them for?
Well, I buy so much, so it's just like cost average, you know what I mean?
I got
like,
you, yeah.
He just throws in certain, I mean, I probably paid like 20, 30 bucks for this. Shout out to my boy DeRay, always hooking me up.
You going to SneakerCon Fort Lauderdale?
I will not. I'll be at God's Soul, and then I'll be at Sneaker Expo in Cali.
Okay. What'd you want for these?
You do retail?
I would do 190.
You too?
Do 190.
I'll do 190.
Okay. I don't know what's with this shoe, but like I can't seem to move it. Like I've had 2 pairs of like forever, so I don't know. I had 11 for many months. I finally got rid of that. This is a 10 and a half. But what'd you want for it, man? I'll see.
I think last saw was 194. I'd like to be at like 170.
I'll do 150 if I was to take him. Just I don't know how well I can
I'll do
that. Okay.
Honeydew.
Huh. I haven't seen these. What it is?
The honeydews.
Honeydews. Okay.
They actually, like the smaller sizes actually do pretty well.
Do they?
What's the market out on? What could you do?
Do 100. That's the best idea.
You do 110?
Probably stick in 100.
I'll do 100.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to go to God's Soul. That's on the 28th, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be incredible.
Yeah.
Jonathan and Joey, they put on the best events in the world.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait till you see the value. It's crazy.
Yeah, stuff like this I can only imagine. I'm guessing it is probably kind of high, but
if you want to pass on it, I completely understand. It's high.
I'll look it up. I mean, what did you want for it?
I'd like to be near bid on it. I know somebody would pay for it because it's sold at like 10 times this year on StockX, so people buy it.
Okay.
It's an all like black mid, but wait till you see what it asks.
Yeah, I know there's certain like, because this is probably a little bit older. That's probably
Yeah,
what it is.
2018.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
the heck? I don't know, man. This is weird.
The box is nice to mint too. It would definitely pass a half.
What did you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Goat's very picky. Right
Oh, go with that. I'll do 100%.
Yeah.
Unless the label's completely this way, this is like I'm telling you.
Yeah, let me see. What would your best price be? I don't know. It's just the market's really weird on them.
I need at least 200.
You do 180?
Yeah, I'll do 180.
Okay.
Thanks, Henry. I got paid.
What you getting for? 20 bucks?
I think I paid like 130 for them.
Okay. It's not bad. So I was gonna ask, how often are you trying to do that? Like podcasts and that type of thing?
I want to find the right guests, the right viewers. I want to find interesting people. It's hard because, you know, some people don't know how to talk in front of camera, you know, so
Yeah.
to keep the conversation going can be tricky.
That's true, yeah.
I want to find the right guest.
Yeah, I definitely like that style of content. So
Yeah,
I appreciate
100%.
your style of content. Not too many people do that because it's like TikTok has ruined people's attention span nowadays.
Dude, I agree.
Bro, I hate TikTok.
Everybody
so
loves shorts and shit.
I know. I love the long format content that like actually means something. So it's like because I grew up watching YouTube.
I was the same way. I was watching Facebook.
Yeah, yep, me too. Probably a lot of stuff I haven't seen.
I'm telling you, some of these like older stuff, it moves when you find the right buyer and stuff.
Yeah, I mean everything moves for the right price.
Absolutely.
It's just a matter of how long it takes is the question. How much did you want?
I think last sell was like 208.
208.
I want to see if you could offer on them.
I'd be really low because the last sale was 170 and the bid's like 120.
What could you do?
Probably like 100.
Can you do bid?
120.
It's an all-white force. You could definitely move it.
Probably stick at 100.
I'll do 100.
Okay.
Cam, I need 160 on these.
160.
185 was last sale.
What would your best price be? I wouldn't do 160.
I had an offer for 150.
Probably hold off then because I can.
No worries at all. Could you do retail on those? Those are the Miamis.
What's retail?
I think 110.
I would do 90. I just bought a 10.5 for 90 earlier.
I need 100.
Can't.
No worries, I'll keep it.
Okay.
This is a really rare one.
Ooh. Okay. You can tell by the box it's older. Is it the candy pack or?
Yes.
Yep.
Sir.
Nice.
Brand new.
Wow, really?
Got it in Dallas.
Oh, where'd you get it from?
This guy, he was from Louisiana. He wanted to buy a truck. And he like sold me his whole 8.5 collection.
Oh,
like,
nice.
All foam posits and crazy shit. And then like all the foam wasn't sold at the event. I sold it to SneakerCon Dallas, so.
Cool. Yeah, stuff like this is cool to see, but like easy to move. It's gonna be pretty
I
hard
know.
to move. So
That's my thing is like, if you find the right guy, people will definitely
Yeah,
buy it, especially
yeah,
the smaller size
definitely.
J's.
I mean, what did you want for him?
Just give me an offer. If I can do it, I can do it.
Okay, let's see. See, the market's just crazy on stuff like this. Like the ask, bid, and last sale are like completely different. What did you want? I have literally no idea what to pay for this. I've never even had this one before.
Could you do 170?
I do 140.
Could you do 150?
Yeah.
That's fair. Really nice pair.
Is it?
Really nice.
Okay. What is this one called? I think I've seen one pair of these.
Yamaha highs.
Ama?
Yamaha Meniere?
Oh, these are Ama Meniere?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They made a high, a low.
Huh.
The high is really nice.
Yeah, I got the 4s and the 3s
He's got
right
the
now.
guys. I like those. That's why we coming home with a big bear.
How much did you want for them? They go for a lot?
They go, last sell was like 280.
Okay.
I'd like to be like 230. 'Cause it's such a premium Air Force One. The material's really nice.
Yeah. Do 200.
That's fair.
Okay.
They're donkeys.
You need 200. What is it? For Duncan. Okay.
Brand new.
What if I needed to do 100 on these?
Be a sad day.
Let me see. I don't think I would do 200 though, but
If not,
let
I'll
me
just
check.
keep these. No worries.
Okay. I would do 170.
Can you do 180?
Probably do 170.
So we paid. You said 170?
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Hit Jason. He's cheap. Yeah, have the 6th Ave. My boy Jay. Love you. And my boy Michael. And Marquise.
TJ Allen.
I know they dropped a lot.
They
You do
did.
too.
I would do 180. That's the best I would
That's
do.
fair.
Okay.
That's fine.
Is that everything?
That's everything.
Okay. So we are at 2,080.
How much store credit can you give me?
You want to do store credit for everything?
Yeah.
Okay. 30. I mean, 20. 2360 store credit.
You do 24?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Let's do it. Decided to go to store credit. Money grows on trees, so I get money later. I want to get some pairs.
It's a 10, I think.
Yep.
for all the good
Oh,
stuff.
I love the good shit.
You want these? The Lily Mays?
Do they have box?
No. It's brand new though.
How good of a deal can you give me?
Give you a good deal.
Let's do it. All right, so for free for filming the video?
I do have this stuff priced a little bit higher just because it is really good stuff.
Hey, I understand.
I got that one at $680.
Now we're gonna see the big bear negotiate. Let's see. Cam's tough. You said 680?
Yeah.
What's your best price?
650.
Can you do bid?
What's bid?
640.
Yeah.
Sold 640. These boxes are all meant to. They're nice.
Yes. All good.
I just bought. He sold me a pair of carbon fiber mids for fucking stupid cheap. Just sold those. So shout
You
out
sold
to
them?
Kid. Dude, I got them.
Okay. Had this one at 680.
680.
Do like 650 on it.
Can you do 6?
625.
You're close. Probably 610.
620.
Do 620.
Do that.
620 on these, Bob.
Almost.
Yeah, what you do?
430.
I'd probably pass on these.
Okay. It's at 780. What were you thinking?
7.
Do 750.
I will do. Probably 720.
725.
That's fair. I'll do 7.
You have 415 left.
Okay.
So asking 650 on those.
Can you come down at all?
Just size 10, dude, right? Size?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bid and ask is so far apart. I know last sales time.
There's some good sales on it though.
What would be your best on this?
Do 625.
You can keep these.
Okay.
I don't know what these.
Yeah.
These
That's some fire. You don't see those ever, bro.
These are fire.
That's literally. I think I've had one other pair before.
These are so fire. But I'm gonna get some dickhead at an event. They don't have box.
It's brand new though.
That's what I'm saying. People are weird though.
You don't wear the box.
That's what I tell people. Wow.
Yeah, they go for a good.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Holy shit. These go for a bit.
I know.
What'd be your best?
Do 725.
I'd have to be low. I'd have to be at like, because it has no box.
Yeah.
I realistically think I'm gonna sell it for like 750.
All right.
Could you do? How close to highest bid could you do? And listen, Cam, you won't hurt my feelings if you don't want to do the deal. I understand.
Do 7.
I'd have to be at like 6.
Do 650. That's my best.
I gotta be at 6. I have to. It's a hard shoot. If you want to keep it, listen,
640.
I gotta be at 6.
Come up. Meet me somewhere. Come up a little bit.
I gotta be at 6. It's a hard move.
625. That's
I
fine.
gotta be at 6. The reason I'm saying this is because if I'm at 6, it's gonna take me probably.
All right. I'll do that. That's fine.
6.
Jordan 1. It's at 600.
What am I at now?
So you would owe me 185 now.
What do you want to do with those 6s right there?
Travis's?
Those have no box, right?
Replacement box. But yeah, basically.
Brand new.
It's brand new though, size 10. I was at 350.
Look, I was supposed to get money today.
And now he's paying me, so I guess you are paying me to take your shoes.
Can you come down at all?
Where were you at?
280.
Do 325.
Run me 3.
315.
Run me 3.
315.
I gotta be like 305.
Do 310. That's the best.
I'll do 310.
495 is what you would owe me.
Brand new, no box.
Anything else?
That's it for now.
Okay. Want to go with those? Got some straight heat, bro.
Straight here. I'm very happy.
Cool.
Good prices too. Not mad. I owe you how much?
495.
5. I'll sell you after the podcast. Guys, third interview of the Neecs channel. I'm very, very excited to announce this guest. This gentleman right here was my first YouTube video that actually did really well. I went to his store and it's very humbling to see him here and ask him some questions. So this podcast has been a long time in the making and I got some great questions for him. But Cam, how you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good, man. I appreciate you guys coming out. I came all the way from Pittsburgh, so what was that, about a 4-hour drive?
4-hour drive.
Yeah, so he came to my original store in New York, and a lot has happened since then. So I
To
think
say the least, a lot has happened.
Yeah, a lot to talk about today. So I'm sure you got a lot of stuff you want to cover.
And as I said before too, if you guys haven't, Cam's channel, he has a lot to talk about. There's a lot that has gone on. I know a lot of you guys have questions, and you're going to hear from the man himself.
Yep.
So I'm very excited to get into this podcast. I was very nervous because I wanted to make sure my questions were structured right, but I think he's going to do well. So let's get into the interview.
Cool. Let's get right into it.
I'm telling you, this is so surreal right now too, because remember when we first came to your store, it was closed the day you were gone. Yeah. We were fucking.
That was a crazy thing. So I didn't even know who you were at the time. Someone had sent me that video, and I was like, oh, dang it. Because it looked terrible because I was closed. We were always closed like all the time because we were traveling to all the sneaker events, managing all types of stuff. So what was your initial thoughts? I know you seemed pretty upset that
this is great. So our initial thoughts was I was a little bit upset. I was pissed off because I had to buy a hotel room that night.
Oh, you weren't planning on staying overnight?
Yeah, we were going to go for the day. I was going to buy a few pairs, and then we get there, and we noticed like you had some good pairs for sale. So I was like, you know what, I want to buy a few pairs, and then I remember I had a card on me. I didn't have cash.
Okay.
And we go there to buy stuff. We agree on a deal, and I'm like, okay. The total was like $1,200 or something like that. I said, okay, like, where's your credit card? He says, oh, we don't have a credit card reader.
Oh, we didn't even have a credit card reader at that time?
And I remember we went to this, it was a shitty-ass bank. They wouldn't give me any money because it was closed. So I remember I had to Venmo Hank, your employee at the time, the money to pay for the shoes. So just an overall crazy experience like that. But that was just the first experience I had with Cam. I bought some great pairs off him. And that was really the start of the YouTube. That was really the start of the momentum.
Was that your first video?
That was our first one that did really well.
Oh, nice.
That was the first one. It was like a build up. Everybody was like, wow, this is pretty interesting, going to see you because this is when like you were posted every day, like crazy posts.
When was this? Do you remember when that was?
I think it was last March.
Last March?
Yes.
Okay, so 2021?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Cam, let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
A lot of people know you. You've talked about yourself several times. Who is Cam's Kicks? Is it a character? Is it somebody you portray, or is it truly you?
I mean, I try to be myself as much as I can on camera, but of course, people can't see everything. There's always personal parts of your life that you're not going to portray or put online because you do have to be careful. Everything you put online can either backfire or people always have something to say no matter what you do. So I think it's definitely, I mean, everyone still calls me Cam's Kicks even with different name changes and stuff. I think it's just such a great brand that I built up from literally nothing, and I think it just a lot of hard work was put into it, and people just really saw that, and eventually it paid off in a pretty big way, and I lost everything too. So it's a big thing of trial and tribulation throughout the whole journey. So
now going back to the beginning, what about shoes really made you say, "Wow, I really want to get into this business"? Because for me personally, it was the artwork, it was the style. It was like in high school, it was a thing that like, if you had these pair of foam posits was the biggest deal. Mm-hmm. So what made you want to get into sneakers?
So my friend actually got me into sneakers. Shout out to Kyle. He was my best friend in middle school. And what, that's your name too? Yeah. Okay, nice. So yeah, shout out to Kyle. He came to the bus stop one day. I remember this was in 8th grade, and he had a pair of Flight 23 Jordans on. Now, I didn't know anything about shoes. I just saw Jordans, and I was like, oh wow, those are sick. So like I looked up to him and everything, and I thought that was just such a cool pair of shoes. So I went home on eBay that night and was looking for I went sort by lowest price because I didn't have any money. I was an 8th grader. So I was trying to find the cheapest pair of Jordans I could possibly find, and I found one that looked similar for like $20, $30, and then he was so mad when I was wearing them because it was pretty much the exact same pair of shoes, and it's like, it's not cool for dudes to twin in middle school, so you know what I mean? That's kind of what started the whole thing. And I started watching like sneaker YouTubers. I was watching Kais back in the day. All those YouTubers, Just Win. He's really what inspired me to start reselling actually, because he created a video on YouTube. His friend was reselling a bunch of shoes. He would get them from the Nike outlet and just flip them, and that's kind of, I saw that and just it inspired me to get into sneakers. So
now a lot of people don't understand when you're in this business, you're not mentally sane. We're crazy. You're traveling all the time. You're doing a bunch of stupid shit. Spend tons of money. Did your parents support you on your endeavors? Were they like, you know what, Kim, I don't think this is for you. You know, I want you to do something else. How do they feel about this?
Yeah, no, I can't thank my parents enough. They were very supportive. I know some parents aren't, so I'm very blessed to have such supporting parents. And they supported me the whole time. My dad, he's good in business and everything. He's had businesses of his own. And he, it's not that he didn't support me at first, but he wanted me to prove it. And that's one thing that always motivates me. If people tell me I can't do something, I'm going to guarantee you I can do it. So that always fuels me and motivates me. It wasn't that he said I can't do it, but it was like, so ninth grade, because I've always been an entrepreneur and I've always wanted to create revenue and just find a way to make money. So that's always interested me. And I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do because I hated school. I knew that early on.
I hated school.
Yeah, I wanted nothing to do with school, so I didn't know what I wanted to do. So my first job, and my only job actually, is I got a job at Chick-fil-A when I was in ninth grade. So, and that's been a recurring theme in some of my videos. Is yeah, I still love Chick-fil-A. I worked there, I ate it, but I still love Chick-fil-A to this day. I don't know what it is. It's the best fast food restaurant in my opinion. But anyway, so I got a job there and just kind of started getting into reselling sneakers a little bit. I wasn't more so reselling at that time. I was mainly collecting. I would save up my paycheck and just buy the latest Jordan releases, that type of thing. So I was doing that for a little bit, and that's around the time when I saw Just Win's video on the guy reselling sneakers. So I was like, I want to try this because I was always interested in business, just couldn't think of any new ideas, think of like a product that needed to be created, that type of thing. So I started doing a little bit, and I was kind of selling off some of my collection on GOAT just to get some money to buy some shoes. And it wasn't working at first, so that's why I just kind of really stuck to Chick-fil-A. And less than a year of working there, at some point I just figured it out. I was buying shoes from the Nike outlet, buying all these shoes, and they were just all selling on GOAT, and that's mainly where I was selling them at the time, or like StockX a little bit as well. But yeah, it took off, and I think at one point I ended up making I think it was in a week, I made what I would make in Chick-fil-A for almost 2 months. I was like, why am I even still doing this? So I was like, I'm gonna take the leap of faith right here. I don't have much to lose. I was only like in ninth grade. So I ended up quitting Chick-fil-A and just been reselling full time ever since. So
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, what I want to know is, when did you get into a point in your life when you're like, okay, I have enough pairs, it's like, okay, this is becoming serious, I want to open up a store. When did you notice that trend happening? Like, what did you notice? It was like, okay, I want to take the next leap of faith.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So something that many people don't know about actually, and I think I briefly mentioned it in a couple videos, but I never really went fully into depth.
Neecs first, right here on the Neecs podcast.
Yes, sir. So I actually had a store in South Carolina, and some people that follow me on Instagram know this because I maintain the same Instagram account and just built that up throughout the years. But so I was in South Carolina, and that's where I worked at Chick-fil-A and everything, and started reselling. So after that was going well for, I don't know how much longer, maybe another year or less, I was like, you know what, I really want to open up a sneaker store. This has kind of been a dream of mine, and this is really how I think I could take this to the next level. So I just started looking into locations in Charleston, South Carolina, like North Charleston area, where it's like.
Is there a big sneaker community down there?
Yeah, there definitely is. There's a store there called Cola Kick. Shout out to them. I know the owner's Josh, pretty cool guy. It's only maybe 15, 16. I was probably 16 at the time. So there's a lot I couldn't do by myself.
That's crazy to have a store at 16.
Yeah.
I could barely tie my shoes at fucking 16.
Well, I didn't actually get a store, so I'll get to that. So basically, as I was looking, kind of exploring it, my dad was obviously helping me with a lot of that because I didn't know anything. And there was another store that had just opened up there in North Charleston, the same area I was looking at, because there wasn't a store. The market was completely open. That's why I was like, why isn't there a store here?
There's a demand for it, absolutely.
Yeah, so this guy just opens up there, and I go and check out his shop, and all I knew at the time was GOAT resale prices. So if I saw anything for under that, I thought it was a steal. So I was going in there, and I was like, dang, this guy's prices are like really, really cheap. And that's actually a business model that I've kind of stuck to ever since then. He's the one that actually kind of got me into the business model that I follow now, which is I try to buy stuff at a low enough price where I can kind of
sell at an affordable price, you know?
Exactly, yeah. Instead of trying to get that full store price that's completely like taxing you. I try to meet it somewhere in the middle. Like I pay low, kind of sell it here, and then there's this higher price that someone can buy it here and still make a profit, that type of thing. Generally, not all shoes. If it's a good moving shoe, you know, I'll overprice it a little bit. Of course, we all do, but I try to keep my prices pretty fair. So I saw how good his prices were and everything, and I was like, yeah, this is crazy. So I was bringing in some of my inventory because I was getting inventory from mystery boxes at the time too.
And you were selling to this gentleman?
Yep, and no, not selling. I was trading. So I was.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So I would get that inventory in, and I would trade it for more stuff. So like, I don't know if have you ever heard of Untied Hawaii?
Absolutely. He used to do the mystery boxes.
Yep. So funny thing, you can actually go on my channel. The video is probably like 5, 6, 7 years old now. I don't know. It's one of my first videos on my channel that I have now, and you could still watch it. I around that time I had just gotten the most expensive mystery box I'd ever gotten. It was like $3,000 something.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, bro, it was crazy. Heineken Dunks, Cause 4s, dead stock UNC 1s, and they were only worth like $200 back then. So like
this was from Untied Hawaii.
Yeah, there was so much crazy stuff. I still remember it. Blink Easy 1s were in that as well. So.
For 3Gs?
Yeah, there was more too. I don't remember everything that was in it, but there was some insane stuff in it. So that's some of the inventory I just got at that time. So I brought it to that store in South Carolina, and that's some of the stuff that I started trading with him for. And yeah, so he was very open with me. That's one of the things that I like too, is I like transparency in business.
Now, how old was this guy?
He was late 20s, almost 30.
Okay, so he was well into his adulthood.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not going to say the store's name. I'm not going to say the guy's name.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. So anyway, so I was trading those pairs with him. He was very transparent. I like that in business, just people that are open and have a nice open communication with business conversations and that type of stuff. So we were just talking a lot, and I kind of told him my plans that I was interested in opening a sneaker store, and he, I don't know if he saw that as like an opportunity to kind of like get over on me, or what he saw, if he saw the blood in the water, that type of thing. I don't know what it was.
A lot of these guys, when they see competition, it's almost like a jealousy thing.
Exactly, yeah. And obviously I was much younger. I had much more drive because I was so much younger, and you know what I'm saying? So it was like, he invited me and my dad to go out to dinner to talk business. So
Trying to wine and dine you.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. That's the first like business meeting I ever had, really. So.
Especially being a younger kid too, especially when you're around like, you know, successful adults, it makes you excited, makes you eager, but
yeah, because I saw this guy as a storefront, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's exactly
almost like a big brother figure.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, he takes me out to dinner, and he's like, why don't, instead of you opening up your own store and us being competition, why don't you partner up with me and we can make money together, that type of thing. So, and this is a recurring theme throughout my business life, if you are aware of anything else that's happened, but I guess that's much later down the road. So that was the first time I was really kind of taken advantage of early on.
When you were having this dinner, did your dad have any like suspect thoughts, thinking like, okay,
I don't think so, to be honest. I mean, I'm sure we talked through the options and kind of thought would this make sense? Well, you could do it for half the expenses, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to.
Plus, being young too, you're so eager to like get in your own business, start making serious money. You're like, fuck, I don't care.
Yeah, and the main selling point too was that he already had this store that, I wouldn't say it was necessarily established, but he already had another store.
He had clientele coming in.
Yeah, so it's like I didn't have to start something fresh. I didn't have to start it by myself. I already had someone I could start it with. So the initial deal, and I'm trying to remember this because this is probably 5 to 7 years ago.
Remember, he was 16 at the time.
Yeah.
16
okay, so 16. So it was like 5 years ago because I'm 21 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, about 5 years ago, and so the initial deal from because there was going to be more deals, and this I'll tell you how I ended up losing all my money in it that I had at the time. So it wasn't a ton. It was like maybe $2,500 if I remember correctly, and that would be because he only had like, it's kind of like how my store is set up right now. He only had one side of it built out. So to have because I already had inventory at the time, so to have my inventory in there, he would have had to build out another wall.
Extra shelf space.
Yeah, so basically I gave him that for the construction, and I think there was going to be a monthly booth rent of, I believe it was $800 if I'm remembering correctly.
He wanted to charge you a monthly booth rent even though he wanted to be partners with you.
Well, okay, I think I jumped the gun too quickly. So I guess we weren't technically initially partners at first. We later on became partners.
It was implied that you guys were going to become partners eventually.
Yeah, so that was the initial thing, and then I would have to pay, I think it was, if I remember right, I think it was a $10 consignment fee on every single pair of shoes that I sold of my own.
That's not too shabby.
Yeah, it wasn't actually a partnership, I guess, initially, because I couldn't go half on the inventory that he bought in the store. So that was just his, and any of my shoes I had to pay a $10 consignment fee and then $800 a month to be in there. But the thing is, I was basically working most of the days, and he started coming in less and less. So it was like I was basically working the store for free at the off chance that I might be able to sell one of my pair of shoes in the strip mall in the middle of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like in a very highly populated area. It wasn't a great location.
Yeah.
So I just didn't feel like it was really worth it, and I wanted more, and that's when I kind of brought that to him, and he proposed that basically I would give him a $10,000 investment to go half on all the inventory.
He wanted $10,000 from you.
Yep, $10,000, and this
That's
is
16.
the first.
That's
this
crazy.
is the first. He's going to ask for $15,000 later, so we'll get there in a little bit. So he got $10,000 from me. That was like pretty much all the money I had. I mean, I had some invested in inventory, but liquid, that was about everything.
That is a lot of
I
money.
had.
You know, think about it, 10 grand,
Yeah.
especially cash back then. That's a lot.
Exactly. So I give him that, and it's going well for, I don't know how many months. I'll just guess, this could be wrong, but maybe 3 to 5 months. And I think about that time, and this is, I don't know what it's called, but there's...
Now, quick question. Were you
Yeah.
in school when that was happening? Or
I was. So I think I was homeschooled at the time, because I ended up... I moved from a couple different high schools. I didn't like school at all,
Yeah.
and I just ended up just trying to do it online because I didn't care about it at all. And then my senior year, I went back to actual high school, but I had kind of made most of the money back, which was like that $10,000 investment. And he was like, "Why don't you invest another $15,000 and you can have half of the buys, go half on me for the buys in my other store locations." I think it was 2 other stores, and that was when stuff started to go downhill, because he would
that
always
seems
be
like
in
a
another
major
store.
red flag to me.
Yeah, and like he didn't keep good like bookkeeping at all, no good records. So it was like he would be in Columbia, South Carolina, Augusta, Georgia, like in these different places, and I would have no idea. I would never see these shoes. He'd send me a list and be like, "This customer bought in all these shoes. You need to send me half the money for this," and then. Or if it's sold, I would have had no idea. You know what I'm saying? So
He could have easily skimmed it too. He could have said,
Yeah.
He could have bought nothing and said, "Hey, Kev, you're buying these shoes today."
Exactly. And the other thing he could have done that I would have had no idea is, like, say he pays $70 for a used pair of shoes, and he's like, "I just paid $120 for these." He's making an extra $50.
Hey,
on
$50
it, you know what I'm
in the
saying?
pocket, no big deal.
Yeah. So he was probably, and I can't prove this, but he was probably taking advantage of me.
Now, is he still in
majorly.
business today?
I believe he is, actually, which is the crazy part. But the funny thing is, after I figured that out, that he was definitely skimming from me, and I couldn't prove it, of course, but I just had a gut feeling, and someone had stepped into my life and kind of told me that and helped me see that clearly, and I was like, dang, so I need to get out of this. So, and it's funny, I tell Henry this too. I know that's one of the things you wanted to talk about, the whole situation with Hank the Tank.
Yeah, we'll probably discuss that later.
Yeah, so what happened to him is actually a very similar story to what happened to me in South Carolina. So how Henry just packed up all of his inventory, that type of thing. So one night at the store, I was like, all right, this is it. I feel like he's never at the store anymore. Half the time I can't get a hold of this guy. I feel like he's stealing from me
You
left
couldn't
and right.
contact him.
I could, but he would barely ever answer the
you.
phone. Yeah, and we didn't have good communication at all. So I was like, all right, this is it. So I took out all my inventory, because I remember I said he had inventory as well. So
How many pairs did you have there?
I don't remember. It was probably under 100. It wasn't anything too crazy. So I took out all my inventory, and that was it. I just packed up in my mom's car and never went back after that. I didn't ever say anything to him. My dad ended up contacting him and saying, "Hey, I know the initial $10,000 investment's gone, but this $15,000 he wants to be paid back for. So if we could work out some type of plan." So I think it was for either 2 or 3 months, because it was supposed to be until the $15,000 was paid back. He would send me a box full of like 10 shoes that were supposed to be $100 each, because he said he didn't have the money to give me. So they were like when I say beat, like, oh my gosh, these
There's
shoes.
garbage you probably found at like a flea market.
Yeah, I would have been lucky to get 40 to 70 bucks a piece for them. So I was already not getting 1,000 each. And then after maybe the third month, he just stopped sending it, and that was it. And there was nothing I could really do. So
Now, after that situation, when you packed up all your stuff, did you know immediately you wanted to go to York, or why was York the next move?
Not at all. That wasn't the next move. So at that time, I was probably 17 by that point. So I was still in South Carolina. I was either a junior or going into being a senior in high school. So I was still reselling. I was like, I'm just going to take this seriously, keep doing it online, keep building my Instagram and my audience on there. Started to slowly build. I was still selling on apps like Goat and that type of stuff. And after I graduated high school, my dad had gotten or maybe it was as I was getting close to graduating high school, my dad got a job offer in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So that's where it kind of started, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. It was like, should I stay in South Carolina by myself when I've never been on my own and try to open a store here like I originally wanted to do, or should I just take a leap of faith and move with him? So I just decided to move with my family and go to Pennsylvania, and that was definitely hard for me because a new place I'd never been. I didn't know anyone, and it was definitely very lonely just being there. And it's like
People who don't live in Pennsylvania too, like we're from Pittsburgh area.
Yeah,
it's a very weird place to live.
It is, yeah.
Everybody has their niche. What do you say?
Have you lived there your whole life?
My whole life, I've lived there.
Okay, cool.
So like I know the people. So I know middle Pennsylvania is a little bit different than like Western PA, because Western PA people are greasy. So you get more of the Amish people where you're at. So I can imagine, being down south, the Southern hospitality, going up north, there's people who are just different.
Completely different.
Completely change your life. So I always thought you lived in York.
No, I never even lived in York. I lived in a little city called, a town called Wrightsville, Pennsylvania, in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, that's where we ended up moving to. But yeah, so my dad got that job there, and I moved with the family, and I was just, I wanted more, so I was reselling literally out of the basement for 3 to 5 months or something. I don't know how long it was, and I was like, I want to try to open up a store here. And I was like, all right, so Lancaster has this store already. There's nothing in York, Pennsylvania. York, Pennsylvania is pretty heavily populated. I mean, not really, but I think it had like 70 to 100,000 people or something like that. So I was like, I think there's a market that could be filled. I was looking at Facebook Marketplace, saw there was people selling sneakers there for pretty low prices. So I was like, this could kind of work. So I started looking for some store locations, and maybe this was dumb or maybe this was luck, but the first location I looked at, I was like, I think this would work. It was $1,100 a month.
And that was your first store that, like, while I was at?
That was that one. That was my first official store, because the one in South Carolina, I don't know if I'd necessarily count, because I
was like an experiment.
Yeah, exactly, and I wasn't technically an owner. So that was my first store that I like actually owned. So so that was in, I want to say, July of 2020 maybe, that I signed the lease, something like that. August, September, October, maybe it was September. And I signed the lease, and it was just taking a while. I mean, me and my brother built that store by ourselves. We didn't hire any construction workers, contractors, any of that, and that's why it looked so cheap, because I mean, you get what you pay for, you know.
Is that when you started YouTube, around that time as well?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's a good question too. So I started YouTube in, I think, August, like doing it actually full time and actually taking it seriously, because I had always made videos as a kid. I've always been interested in filmmaking, videos, YouTube, all that type of stuff. It just fascinated me. So actually taking it seriously and putting out weekly content was in August of 2020. And since I was already in sneakers, I thought that would be the best little niche for me to do and just kind of keep doing it. I didn't care if it got views or not. I just enjoyed doing it and just wanted to do it no matter what the return on investment was for it.
Now, being a young guy, you know, what was your first viral video that said, wow, this is crazy? I'm like seeing the views come in. Like when you were like, wow, this is wild.
I don't know what my first viral video was, but my first video that really got attention was when just the grand opening video of the York store, which was in October of 2020.
Now, I saw your grand opening. You had people waiting in line. How did you promote that?
Yeah, so I promoted it. I mean, I posted it on Instagram. I probably had 15,000-ish followers at the time. So
okay.
That wasn't really. I don't think anyone came from Instagram though. It was from Facebook Marketplace, just kind of trying to put the word out there and saying I was opening up a sneaker store, and so a lot of it was word of mouth. And then I also posted some ads on Instagram and on Facebook Marketplace. I gave the first couple people in line something like store credit or something. I don't remember what it was, but
now you said in August.
Yeah.
As your videos progressed, I mean, your channel exploded.
Oh, my gosh!
I saw I saw the amount of buying you were doing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When did you start saying like, "Wow, this is crazy"? This is like overwhelming, and I'm starting to make this kind of money this young.
Okay, so yeah, that's interesting. So when I really saw it as like, this is insane. So I had said that earlier that I was watching these sneaker YouTubers on YouTube. So like Kais Omar was my favorite growing up, and he reacted to my video. At the time, that was like just,
a starstruck thing.
That was just insane for me, and I was like, oh my gosh, Kais Omar, who I watched growing up. It's like such a full circle moment, and it was just crazy to see. And I probably had like 5,000-6,000 subscribers by that point.
And that jumped up your channel a lot.
Oh, definitely. I probably gained another 10,000 to 15,000 subscribers for that if I had to guess. So in about 2 months, I think I gained 40,000 to 50,000 subscribers just organically and growing that. And it was absolutely insane. December 2020 was my best month ever on YouTube. I made $28,000. And then January 2021, $26,000. So $54,000 in 2 months as an 18-year-old kid. And yeah, I did a lot of things that I really regret because I blew all that money. Clothes,
Hey, could you
shoes,
explain to people
everything.
too, the thing is, a lot of you guys don't understand this. YouTube is a very hard platform to grow on.
Absolutely.
If you're looking at platforms like, it goes Twitch, YouTube, these are platforms like TikTok, a little bit easier to grow on, but when you're gaining that amount of subscribers, you're getting a lot of comments and stuff. Plus, when you start monetizing your channel and the money really starts rolling in, it can become very crazy, manage it. So you said you blew through the money. Hey,
Yeah, all of it. I mean,
what were you buying? Was it just shoes, or were you buying like nice stuff for yourself, like cars?
I was buying all types of stupid stuff, and I wish that I could talk to my 18-year-old self now. I'm not that much older, but just even being 21, just like, I don't like spending money at all now. Like, I want to save as much money as I can, so I can't even imagine how much money I'd have right now if I had the same mindset back then. But it's just like, I spent like 20 grand on StockX, like all the Supreme, because the people saw there was a big jump. I was wearing like literally Walmart clothes, which I don't detest.
And you got dripped out.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden I had all the Supreme box logos, like everything, and I don't have any of that now. I sold it all for a fraction of what I paid for it because I thought it was stupid. Like, I don't care about clothes now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I definitely, I don't like to reflect on. I mean, I definitely self-reflect, but I don't like to regret stuff because
You learn from it.
Exactly, and there's two ways you can learn from things. You can learn the hard way or the harder way. Now, unfortunately, I had to learn the harder way, but you're not going to really learn that lesson until you actually have that life experience. And you can read a book, you can watch someone talk about something, but until you really live in that moment and really go through those tribulations, you're not going to fully understand what it's like for that to really happen. So I'm glad that was able to happen to me early on, and so much more that I'm sure you want to talk about as well that happened early on, just because I'm glad it didn't happen later in life and I had to learn that lesson even harder than I already did. So
I think the people love hearing about money. They love hearing about the finances. From your peak when you were buying, selling shoes, YouTube, what was your most profitable month from like everything? Because I remember when you bought a whole store, you were doing six-figure cash outs. And for people to understand, six-figure cash outs is crazy. That is a next level, type buyer. And this man was doing it like every video. So it's like a lot of the viewers want to know how much money was being spent a month.
Well, let me be completely honest. So two videos were kind of faked. So I never actually did a six-figure cash out. The biggest cash out I did was probably 60,000, but that video, and that's actually one of my most viewed videos now. It probably has like 300,000 views, where I bought an entire store. And like I said too, there's a lot of people I take inspiration from on YouTube, and I just absolutely loved YouTube growing up. That's all I did was watch YouTube. So Mr. Beast is one of my biggest inspirations of all time, and he had recently made a video where he was buying like entire stores.
Yeah, buying a whole GameStop.
Yeah,
everybody's
you saw that video?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I was like, how do I apply this to sneakers? So I hit up a bunch of shops and was like, would you be interested in me buying your entire store? And like, a lot of them were like, no, or like.
You should have came to my fucking store. I would have loved it.
I didn't even know you had a store.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I finally found a store. It's called Bullseye. They were in.
Lancaster.
No, they were in. What was it? Oh my. Camp Hill or what's the other area there near Camp Hill? It's.
We went to their store.
Yeah. Anyway, so I ended up going to their store. Now, they had a lot of stuff that was on consignment and then a lot of stuff that they just paid extremely high for. So I wasn't able to buy it all, but I'm like, why don't we just take all this stuff off the shelf so it looks like I bought it all? I think I said I spent like $100,000, but reality, I still spent like 35 grand, and I actually did buy most of their stuff. It's just a lot of it I didn't, and didn't make sense. So a lot of people do stuff for entertainment value just to add to the production of the video and just make it be more entertaining, because that's what your job is at the end of the day as a YouTuber is to entertain your audience. So
and that's an important thing you guys need to understand. A lot of times you see something on YouTube, it's not always real.
It's not always real. Yeah.
A lot of stuff can be fabricated and stuff like that. So
don't believe everything you see.
You know, I remember watching these videos and I said, how the fuck's he buying this whole store? Like, it's just, a lot of you guys get discouraged, but listen, everybody has their own path. He's, you know, for him to man up and tell you that it wasn't real takes a lot. So I just always found it intriguing, because when I was watching Cam's videos early on, the amount of money he would spend was just astronomical to me, because I knew what my expenses were. And when I saw him like getting these big U-Hauls, he had a big team, you know, I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy.
Yeah, so I know you're asking about some of the finances and stuff. I know my biggest month ever was actually in July of 2021. I did $300,000 in sales in 1 month. It was absolutely insane. So I don't know what the profit was. Maybe I didn't have a very big profit margin, but if I had to guess, it was probably about 60,000.
And how many, like, so when you say that kind of number, a lot of you guys can't really grasp that kind of number. How many shoes were you moving on a daily basis?
Tens and tens of pairs. I mean, they were all selling online, and I was following that business model.
So your website was just killing it.
Oh my gosh, the website was insane. We were literally generating tens of thousands of dollars. Like, some days we would do like 10, 15, 20, $25,000 in a day, just because we would do like big discount codes, like 10, 15% off, and people would just buy. Like resellers, people trying to build their collection, like just everything would move. It was just such an amazing time. And 2020, it's just, I wish the market was like that still. It was such an amazing time to be in that business, and I started at such a perfect time, because everyone was getting in the PPP loans, all the stimulus, everyone was just loaded with money, so they could just blow money all day on sneakers. Now it's the complete opposite. So
now, so I know how well your store was doing. When did you start getting help for your store? Like, when did you have Hank and Bo? How did you find them?
So it was obviously a lot of work. I was doing everything by myself. I mean, my family was helping me, so big shout out to all them. My sister, I would pay her to clean shoes. My brother would come help out sometimes. My mom would even help me clean shoes. My dad would help me with keeping track of some of the numbers. So everyone was kind of helping me, kind of playing their role as well. So I definitely couldn't have done it without them. But I really was working like some days 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 hours a day, because I would be at the store the entire day, buying shoes, posting them, listing them places, posting them on Instagram, other platforms, and then filming videos, go home at night and literally stay up the entire night editing a video so that I could get the daily videos out. I would fall asleep on the couch half the time because I used to edit on my phone, so I would just fall asleep in the middle of editing a video half the time, and sometimes I still do that, but back then it was just crazy, and I was like, yeah, this just isn't sustainable. I'm gonna completely burn out sooner rather than later. And I mean, I definitely did a few times, but so I started actually doing like some podcasts, if you will, segments. I don't know if you remember them with my dad.
Yeah, absolutely, I do.
It was something called with Jay and Cam. Do you remember what it was called?
I remember the Donuts and Deuce thing. But
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, that was later on. So I don't remember what it was called, but basically my dad would look for like commonly asked questions, because that was like close to my peak. So I couldn't keep up with all the DMs and stuff people were asking. And
that's another thing I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
When you were trying to buy stuff, how did you manage your emails, your DMs? And you were probably getting thousands a day.
Well, I couldn't manage it by myself, and that's why eventually I needed to have someone on my team. So I posted in December because the year was ending. So I was like, okay, next year I want to make some changes. For the first time, I'm going to be looking for an employee because I can't do this by myself. So I put that out there, and pretty much immediately, this college kid that goes to college in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, DMs me on Instagram, and it's actually Bo. So
shout out, Bo. We love you, Bo.
So he hits me up on Instagram and is like, dude, I watch your videos. I'd love to work for you. He had come into the store once to trade a pair of what was it? I think Master 12s. I remember some of the shoes from certain things, but so he had done a trade with me before, and he came in pretty soon after. I don't remember how soon after because it's a couple years ago now, but he I could just see immediately he had a very strong work ethic. Like I didn't know how to interview people. I didn't really have employees and stuff, so I was like, I didn't really know how to go about it, but I was just kind of asking him some simple questions and stuff, and he was like, why don't I work for you for an hour, show you what I can do, and kind of see if it'd be a good fit and go from there. So he started helping me package up orders, printing out labels, doing some stuff on a spreadsheet, I think, even on his computer. So he was like immediately just going straight to work and wasn't expecting to be compensated for that or anything, just kind of as a interview just to get right into it to kind of see how he would do. And I was like, yeah, I think this could be a good fit. So I was pretty much like, yeah, I think you're hired. So he actually, it was during so it was December, so it must have been during Christmas break. So because he was from Dallas, Texas, so he was about to go back to school in Texas, or not school, sorry, he's about to go back home in Texas, yep. So he couldn't start immediately, he couldn't start for like, I want to say another week, so that kind of threw it off. I was like, dang, I need someone to start now. So I told him that he was hired, but then at the same time, it was like, I kind of needed someone to start now. I didn't tell that to him, and even still to this day, I'm pretty bad at communicating things, and it's one thing I definitely need to improve on. So I didn't really talk to him about that. And this was around the time, too, that Hank the Tank, he was coming into the store very frequently. A lot of people saw him early on in the videos. He would come in and sell me a bunch of stuff or trade or do whatever. So he was coming in a lot, and we started, he was actually the one that came up with the idea to start doing skits. That was actually his idea.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, actually, I might have done a couple before, like me and my brother or something, doing something dumb, but he was like the one that really kind of took that on, because that was something that we incorporated in some of the early videos as well. So he was coming into the store, and then one day, this one went like absolutely viral, like the skit that we did. So he was known for coming into the store. Everyone called him the gray hoodie guy because he would wear this Nike Fleece Tech sweatshirt every single time he would come in. So I was like, oh, the gray hoodie guy's back, selling some more shoes. So it was the gray hoodie guy. So we were like, why don't we run with this and just make it a whole thing? So I was a big fan of Pawn Stars growing up. I watched that show a lot. So we're like,
Pawn Stars.
You love that show?
Dude, yeah, one of the best.
Awesome, man. So yeah, so we got inspiration from that, and we're like, why don't we do our own little iteration of it? So it was basically where, and this is the first time I met Ronnie. So Ronnie was business partners at the time with Hank the Tank. So
oh, they worked together.
They were business partners. They were reselling shoes together.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so basically, Hank would buy the shoes and Ronnie would kind of clean them up, and Ronnie had his own clientele because Ronnie's from York, Pennsylvania, so he knew everyone in York, so he would sell to his friends and that type of stuff. So, so that was the first time I met Ronnie. Hank was like, let's bring in Ronnie for this skit. So basically what we're going to do, we kind of came up with the idea collectively. Ronnie's going to come in and bring my Nike Tech fleece in and try to sell it to you. And just, so he brings it in to sell to me, and I'm like, this is insane. This is the gray hoodie guy's sweatshirt. You know how much this is worth? I'm gonna have to call my guy up here to get an estimation on this. You know how it's like, so we're making
absolutely
the gag from Pawn Stars. Yeah, the expert. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm gonna have to call the expert up here to get an opinion on this, to see if it's authentic, to see how much it's worth. So we ran with that, and so then I obviously call Hank, and that's when he comes in. He's like, yeah, it fits about right. It has the Taco Bell stain on it, like the whole thing. And during that, something that, this was not fake, something that we couldn't have predicted that would happen. This video has hundreds of thousands of views now. This absolutely crazy guy comes in. I don't know if you remember this video. I don't know if he was high on something. Some people said he just recently got out of a mental hospital. I don't know what it was, but he was like trying to, he like tried to give me a rose. He was like talking real low. He said he has $500,000 in the stock market in ETF, like all this stuff. Like, I have a Lamborghini. You want to drive it with me? Like it was like comical, and I didn't know how to interact with him. So it was, yeah. So it was just funny and just made a great video. So that on top of that, that was in the same video. And after that, because the guy seemed like he could be somewhat dangerous, so it was like, yeah, because at the time too, I was running the shop by myself and not. People say it was in the hood. It definitely wasn't in the hood, but it wasn't in the greatest area.
I don't think it was in too bad of an area.
Yeah. So, I mean, York, Pennsylvania is not known as being the safest, but like the area I was in, the police station was right around the corner. Not that that matters, but I mean, at least some safety there. So it wasn't too bad of an area, but a lot of people were saying like, oh, you need security. You can't be there by yourself. And obviously people will say whatever, but it was a very frequent question. So I was like, why don't we go on top of this whole thing? We're already creating such great content and people love to see you in the videos. He was the one that really pushed it on me. He was like, I know you need an employee. Why don't I work for you? And I was like, well, I guess you could. And we could kind of have the whole spin-off that he's my security. So the first video that he's in, this is one of my most viewed videos too, 500,000 views probably last I checked. So he was basically acting as my security. He wore a security shirt. He had like a little earbud in. He was holding up against the door. And this is when people were bringing stuff in the cell nonstop.
Absolutely.
So like it was just, he was interacting with the customers. It was hilarious. So it just made a great video, and he became my first employee officially, was Hank the Tank.
So Bo came in about a week later, but Hank was your first official one.
Yeah, so here's the thing with that. So Bo actually got really mad at me because I DM'd him back, because I don't even think I got his number. I think I was just talking to him through Instagram. I was like, hey, you know how you're supposed to work for me next week? Yeah, actually, I don't need you anymore. I just hired someone else. He's like, dude, are you serious? You told me I could have it and like all that. And then not even a week later, probably 2 or 3 days later, there was so much work. And maybe it was because Hank was lazy. I don't know. But he definitely was helping me a lot at first. It's just, even 2 people is just so much work. We couldn't even get it done by ourselves. So I was like, you know, like, because I had told him that I had already hired someone. So he's like, you know that kid that you said you were going to hire? I think we need him. So I was like, yeah, I didn't really want to have 2 employees this early on, but I think you're right. So we hired him, and he was kind of in a way below Hank, and that really got under his skin. It got so bad at one point around the time that I actually fired Hank, which is much later on, but they would get in like screaming arguments every day. The work environment, yes, the work environment was so toxic, and I'm never really like.
Who would now these fights that would happen? Was it because Hank was being lazy and Bo was doing a lot of work?
Well, so the thing is, Hank would kind of tell Bo to do certain things. So Hank would be like, "Go clean those shoes. Go do like," because Hank said
trying to be the boss.
Yeah, Hank said he had a manager background and all this stuff. So it was a bunch of BS. But
fucking Hank.
Yeah. So yeah, Bo didn't like that too much, and I don't know if it was like an ego battle every day is how I felt it was like, and I was never a very confrontational person, and
I'm not either. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I mean, I've definitely improved a lot, but I wasn't the best at like dealing with stuff like that, especially too like when 2 grown men, Bo was like, I don't know, 23 and Hank was like 35, something like that, screaming at each other. It's like I mean, I tried to mediate as much as I could, but I didn't do the best job at it. And it's
that's crazy you say that, because I remember I hate confrontation too. So it's like, if I see 2 grown men fighting, I don't want to get involved.
Exactly, yeah.
It's just, it makes you feel uncomfortable.
And the funny thing is too, so like I remember one trip we were going around to like New York, New Jersey, going to some sneaker stores, and they were just at each other's necks the entire time throughout the drive. And this one night going back, I think they were just absolutely screaming back and forth. We had a whole trunk load full of a trunk load full of shoes that we got in the car. Yeah, so I just put my headphones in and just tuned it out. And then after maybe an hour, I took them off, and they're like, you know what, Bo? I love you, dude. I'm sorry. Like it was the funniest thing. So they would go from like screaming at each other to just like making up and being like best bros. So it was like it was an interesting dynamic for sure.
Now I wanted to ask you too. I know like for a long time you didn't have your license, so was it nice having your employees drive you around? Because I remember we travel and stuff. You know, it's funny because I like to drive a lot because I'm like safe. And sometimes I get squirrely behind the road. So, how did you get them to drive all the time?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely pretty nice. Big shout out to them for doing that. But I was an interesting kid, so I never got my license. I was just so focused on creating a business and YouTube and all that type of stuff. I tend to put stuff off that can be important because I get so obsessive and focused on either business or YouTube or whatever it is. So I just kind of put those small things aside and just never really practiced driving. I mean, maybe a couple times when I was like 14, 15, but I never got my license. I didn't get my license until I moved to Texas, actually, and I was 18 when I got my license. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, so I got my license. Oh wait, no. I didn't get my license until I was 20, actually. No, because I was 18 when I opened my first store. So yeah, I didn't get it until I was 20. So I've only had my license for a year now.
Now that's a great transition as well. So
yeah,
York was doing so well. Mm-hmm. Why move to Dallas or Texas? Why? What was the vision there?
That was the biggest mistake I made. If I hadn't have moved to Dallas, I think I'd still be in business this day and thriving. I mean, again, I don't like to live in regret because I needed to learn that very hard lesson early on, or I would have made much stupider mistakes.
Did you know it was a mistake as soon as you moved there, or did it take time to sit in?
As soon as I saw it, I'm like, what did I do? But I was so blindsided because, I don't even think we need to mention her name, but I kind of fell for this girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I wasn't popular at all in school. I didn't really talk to many people, so it's like I never really had a good friend that was a girl, like, for a consistent amount of time.
Plus, you have that affection and stuff, it makes you, like, good.
Yeah, and I just thought she was perfect for me because we had so many similar interests, and she was, like, my best friend. We had built a friendship and all that, and I'm like, I want to try to move out there and start a business there because I thought I was untouchable, and that's a lot of people's biggest downfall in business is when you're at your highest point.
Because that time, I remember when you did that announcement, you were like at your peak.
Oh my gosh,
you were like
exploding. That was when I did the $300,000 a month because I had done like, I think that was gross. I think net was like 260, but I'd done like 220, then 260. It was growing every month, and now like even at this store, I would be lucky to get 50 grand. You know what I'm saying? Like I might get 50, 60. You know what I'm saying? So like those numbers are just astronomical, like just insane. So the business was just scaling so fast. We were growing the inventory, the cash flow, able to consistently get these buys up. Like I walked into the bank right before Dallas SneakerCon. The most cash I ever had in hand was $80,000. I had to put in like a 1 or 2 weeks request for $80,000. So we had just went to some other event before that, and then I brought 60,000.
No, you guys were going to Kobe's. You guys were going to cash in.
Oh my gosh, it was a life, bro. It was amazing. So. That was the most I ever spent in a sneaker show was Dallas SneakerCon. I spent $60,000 there, and that's.
Is that the main reason because Dallas was so successful, or was it because of the girl?
It was a lot because of the girl, but it wasn't just. I wasn't that stupid. It wasn't just because of that. It was because also that the support that we got from that event. That's the best best interactions I had with like people that watch my channel, viewers, and all that.
And
type
you
of
just
stuff.
felt like when I need a second store.
Yeah, I was already thinking at the time that I needed a second store. And it made sense, too, because Bo is from Dallas, so it wasn't completely over this girl. I wasn't that stupid, but at the same time, I was stupid. So
hey, sometimes shit happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, yeah, there was a lot of reasons that went into it, but, yeah, definitely a very poor business decision. And I thought I was untouchable, which I clearly wasn't, and nobody is. And I did the same thing with what I did at York. I was like, the first location I looked at, I was like, yeah, I'll take it, that type of thing. Like I didn't even look at other locations. I didn't do any research. Well, that's the thing too.
You get so excited, you get so eager. You're like, I don't want to wait. I want to bullshit around if we get it done. I agree. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep. And the first time that I really started to struggle, and I was like, dang, what did I do? And I actually started to see reality. Was when I moved to Dallas because I moved there 2 or 3 months before the store opened, and
I saw you had a nice ass apartment. You were living good.
I wasn't living that good because I was blowing so much money, and it was like I was spending more than I was making. The business was going downhill because people wanted to come in to sell to me and be on the YouTube channel, and it just Ronnie and Henry were great, but they didn't have the same effect, and it wasn't working. So like in any business, I've heard a lot of stories from different people. Like one person I've listened to recently on a podcast is have you heard of Ty Lopez?
Absolutely.
So he used to run nightclub businesses, and he actually, because I like hearing other people's stories in business and stuff because I like relating to it and seeing what I can learn from their mistakes and apply it to myself. So he was in the nightclub business and he was making so much money. I think he was said $500,000 a year, which was a lot for him at the time. And he decided after like a year, he was like, why don't I just go for a year and just kind of explore and just let someone else run my nightclub, give him 20%. And his business was going downhill. So he was making a lot less money for not having to do any work, but eventually it just went down to nothing.
Especially, like, a lot of people understand, they think, there's an easy way out. People that make serious money, you have to make a serious time commitment.
Exactly.
Like, for instance, like when you were at York, you were there every day, people wanted to come see you and your business was thriving. It's hard to be two places at once,
You can't be, that's the issue.
When I had my store, people wanted to see me all the time. It's tough, you know what I mean? Like, you can't be two places at once. So they're like, Cam, why aren't you at York? And then the York store.
And that's some of the issues we ran into. And as you know from personal experiences, we'd be at sneaker shows buying all this inventory, traveling everywhere. So it's like we would have to bring the team because it was such a big thing for all of it.
You got to feed them, you got to house them. I know.
So we couldn't even open the store because then if we just left one guy there, he'd feel like he was left out, and then it'd create drama, and there's all this type of stuff behind the scenes that people didn't know. So it's so basically, what were we?
So what I wanted to get to with this Dallas store was it was really like going downhill. When did you ever have a point where you thought, I'm going to lose everything, I'm going to go bankrupt?
Yeah. So I opened the Dallas store in November of 2021. I had a $250,000 in inventory, so I mean I thought that was pretty decent. Yeah,
that's great.
I didn't know. I don't know if that's the most I had.
And this was all yours. It wasn't consignment or anything.
Completely mine. Yeah. So it was just a blessing to be able to build up a business from literally starting with probably. In York, I started initially with I think it was $10,000 to $15,000 in upfront expenses, and I had like $35,000 of inventory. So less than $50,000 that I had built up from years of reselling that I started York with. Didn't get any loans, didn't do anything, completely my money. So just to see that, building that from pretty much nothing and building it up to several $100,000, it was just absolutely a blessing.
Especially at a young age too.
Yeah, definitely. And still, I was just so terrible at money. That was the first time I had lived alone was when I moved to Dallas. So
did you have people to talk to when this was going downhill, where you just felt like you were bottling it up by yourself?
I tend to do that a lot. Like I could be starving and be too proud to ask for a meal. You know what I'm saying? It's I'm not the best at that. So it's like I had my team around me and stuff, and I didn't use my resources to their full potential, and there's a lot of people that would have been more than willing to help me. I just kind of took a lot of it for granted, and I wish I didn't, but again, I don't want to live in regret, and you can only learn from it and move forward. So yeah, so that was when I really started to struggle for the first time, because I was on my own for the first time and didn't have a consistent revenue because York wasn't, it went way downhill even.
There was no safety net. It was just going downhill.
Yeah, and I was trying to pay myself a salary, but then I would go and blow it on like Ubers and food, eating out, and personal sneakers and like all types of dumb stuff. So I didn't do well with my money at all. So even still, I didn't learn my lesson. I was still blowing through all my money. So we were just pretty much at one point sitting around doing nothing, and I don't know why. Like I moved out Danny with me, and I was paying him a full-time salary to do literally nothing, and it's a lot of my fault because I wasn't a very good boss, and I didn't instruct him to do certain things.
Confrontational, exactly.
Yeah, exactly, and so it wasn't working out very well, and the girl that we were talking about, she kind of stepped in, and she was helping me with a lot of that things because she's from Dallas as well, just with her connections and stuff. Yeah. Found a contractor, helped with that type of stuff, and eventually I ended up hiring her, which I shouldn't have hired her because that kind of created tension between everyone because they're like, why are you letting this random girl just in when we've been working hard with you for months? And it's like I kind of put her over my friends, and I definitely deeply regret that. I know I said I don't like to regret things, but I mean, it's tough because I burned a lot of bridges, and it's definitely not something I'm proud of.
I think it's important too. You man up to your mistakes. A lot of people, they're too proud to man up to their mistakes, and you saying I know what I did's wrong, and you're growing from it.
Yeah.
Now, Cam, is the Dallas store? It was a little bit going craziness. expenses were getting high, things were going downhill. When did Impossible Kicks reach out to you?
Yeah, so that was a very interesting thing as well. So as it was kind of starting to collapse, so I closed York, which was a big move to do in December. So this was a month after Dallas being
And
open.
you received a lot of backlash.
Oh my gosh, yeah, definitely, because people are like, oh, you're not remembering your roots, you're not remembering where you came from, you're just leaving all these people to go, you know what I'm saying? So you're leaving all these people jobless, because we kind of like fed into that and made this like, I don't know what we did, something stupid, but like made it like Ronnie was like, looked like he was like crying, or I don't know what we did, but ultimately Ronnie ended up moving to Dallas too. And around that time, before that even happened, Henry 2.0, which was still working for me, he already left and went to partner with Hank, and you know that whole thing.
Oh, absolutely.
But so basically, this was probably in December, maybe. No, this was January. So Impossible Kicks reached out to Bo, which was, he was still working with me.
So you didn't reach out to them; they reached out to you guys.
I never reached out to Impossible Kicks, and I don't think they ever were going to reach out to me. They were just trying to create this business model with all these people that have any type of social media relevancy at all, basically, and just have them as store managers and just open up a new store every 30 days, have 20, 25 stores, whatever crazy amount.
They want to open up a store every month.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the goal. Yeah. I don't know how many stores I have at this point, but it's probably close to 20. It's insane. So the first person they had reached out to was Bo. So they flew Bo out to one of their grand openings somewhere in Florida, I think. And Bo had told me, we weren't on the best of terms at that time. This is kind of when our relationship kind of was going downhill. So he didn't tell me too much details about it, but he all I know is he said it was crazy. They did $50,000, $70,000, something crazy in sales on the first day. And the way they're able to do that is they go in all these Forbes malls, like the biggest malls in America, paying who knows how much for rent, but the foot traffic is just insane. So you could have any shoe, people are going to buy it.
Plus, they're paying a percentage of their sales. Still don't understand that either.
What do you mean? Oh, to the mall? Yeah.
A lot of guys that don't understand what I'm talking about there is a lot of you guys that see these stores in these big, bougie malls, they're paying a percentage of their sales. So if you're making 50, 100K a day, the mall's getting probably 12, 13% of that.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, he was the first person they reached out to. Then they reached out to, I think, Ronnie, and Ronnie thought he was kind of fishy. He thought it was kind of weird, so he was kind of not being fully responsive. And they reached out to Danny as well, and Danny kind of saw it as some opportunity. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to go, because he offered to fly Danny out and take care of all of his expenses and all that, and just kind of showed Danny the ropes and kind of how their business operated. And we had already had multiple meetings as a team in January. I think it was January, maybe it was even February. I'm bad at remembering certain things, but everyone as a whole kind of knew the company wasn't looking good. We already closed York because we couldn't afford to do it with all the expenses, and the expenses were already still high. That didn't really even save much expenses, paying Danny full time and flying Ronnie out and paying him full time, and paying Alexa as well. So and Bo. So it was just, and paying myself a salary.
Absolutely.
So it was just very expensive, and the rent was 3 times the price of the rent that it was in York for a much worse location.
Oh, the location was terrible.
Yeah, location was terrible. It was in a strip mall next to a kids karate place and a kids swimming school and then a daycare. So it was like the complete wrong clientele, not at all the ideal clientele for a sneaker store. So, I mean, we had some customers, don't get me wrong. It definitely wasn't completely going terrible, but it wasn't anything of what I expected, or I had way too high expectations for something that didn't pan out ultimately. So the whole team already knew the business was going downhill. I was losing $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 negative a month. In 3 or 4 months, I depleted my $250,000 inventory to $45,000. So I lost a couple hundred grand in about 4 months. So I was just losing money left and right. So we knew we had to do something drastic, or we were going to go bankrupt as a company. So So Impossible Kicks had reached out to Danny and flew him out to one of their grand openings, and same experience with him. He said it was crazy. They did tens of thousands of dollars in sales, all this crazy stuff, and he's told me that John offered him a job, and Danny kind of filled him in on kind of how our business is going, because you could kind of see that even like through watching the videos that it was going downhill. So and he was like, the owner of Impossible Kicks, CEO, whatever, actually wants to speak with you. And I was like, he wants to talk to me. What does that mean? What is that about? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? I don't have anything to lose. I'm already losing so much. What's the worst that could happen? I'm just going to take a phone call with a super high-end business person, it sounds like. So I was intrigued. So I get on a call with him maybe the next day, 2 days later, pretty soon after that. So just immediately, such a I'll give him one thing. He's a very good salesman. He'll tell you...
Persuasive.
Very persuasive. Tells you everything you want to hear. Tries to sell you the world, but what you're going to get left with ultimately is not what's actually promised to you. Yes, pretty much. So he's telling me all this great thing. I have this store that does this many numbers. We have this great investment team. It's a great environment. Why don't I fly you down to my store? Why don't you come see how we operate and stuff? I'll buy you out of your brand, give you this high-paying salary, all this stuff.
And at the time, this sounded awesome because you're like,
yeah,
I'm losing so much money. Now I'm going to have a guaranteed career. I'm going to have a salary.
Exactly, yeah. And that's something I had never really had. It sounded like something that was guaranteed. So I thought it might not be the best. It's not the route I wanted to take, but maybe it's a temporary setback that I can start saving up again and build something even greater. So it's kind of the way that I saw it. I first asked him on the phone if like he'd be interested in investing, and he wasn't interested in that at all, because he wanted to diminish my brand. He wanted to get it completely out. And
he wanted pretty much to get rid of Cam's Kicks and
yeah,
just make you
he wanted to
impossible.
completely decease Cam's Kicks and make me Impossible Kicks, basically.
Yeah.
So basically it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a really fun time in Florida. Like, he had his brothers there. We went out to eat at really nice restaurants.
He made you feel
everything.
good.
Oh
He
yeah, it was a great experience. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so I was just like, yeah, this was amazing. So basically, we kind of initially talked about certain things, but I can't even tell you what the salary was, to be honest. I don't remember all the specifics.
Was it almost like too good to be true? You're like, wow.
It was, yeah. So it was a very high salary, commission. He was offering me more than other managers because of my whole YouTube background and all that, and previous experience. And he was going to take 50% of the YouTube revenue for no investment, and he was going to buy me out of all my inventory. And here's the thing too, he wanted the public perception that it was some big deal that went down. Like, people were like, oh, he sold out for 300,000, 3 million, 2 million. Like, people have no idea how business actually works. So people were thinking I sold out for millions of dollars, and I like sold my business. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we portrayed it online, and that's how everyone saw it. So, and I thought it was a good perception to give, instead of accepting defeat and making it look like I just went out of business, just taking this high-paying job, and I'm still going to be filming videos. And so Danny and Ronnie ended up taking because they were offered jobs at Impossible Kicks as well.
And they're currently there now, right?
Yeah, they're still there to this day, and I still talk to them sometimes, not as much as I'd like to, but I still try to.
Now, are they
reach out
in
to them.
managerial roles, or are they like employees?
I mean, they're employees, but they're managers.
Oh, okay.
I believe Danny's an assistant manager in Miami, and Ronnie's a manager in Somerset, Michigan. And he actually manages 2 stores now. There's 2 Michigan stores that he oversees. But yeah, so I ended up moving to Connecticut. So
I remember this.
Yeah, Hartford, Connecticut. So the long-term goal was that I would temporarily be relocated to Hartford, Connecticut. I'd get like a $5,000 relocation bonus. All this stuff.
This great stuff you want to hear.
Yeah, and he also told me that I could live in his very nice apartment on, like, I don't even know what floor, but in this very nice apartment building for free. I didn't have to pay any rent. And then I don't know, 3 to 6 months down the line, I don't remember how long it was, he was going to be opening up a Nashville store. And my parents had just recently moved to Tennessee, so
and Nashville was the ultimate goal for you.
Yeah, yep. So that's what I had intended on, and just as soon as I started there, I was like, I already kind of it sunk in, like, this isn't where I want to be. I know.
Did his vibe change when you got in there?
He wasn't really there so much because he was trying to oversee like
Everything.
tens of stores, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really necessarily that. It was more so just the fact of, I mean, it was definitely very humbling, and maybe I needed to be more humble about it. I can definitely admit that. But just going from feeling like I was on top of the world to just being a regular employee, it didn't feel right. And the videos that I was making, like, it was tough seeing the feedback. Some of the worst backlash I got was when I changed my channel name to Impossible Kicks.
I remember that. It was an uproar.
I probably lost, I don't even know, 2,000-3,000 subscribers.
When I saw that, I'm like,
yeah.
I cannot believe Cam changed his channel from,
yeah.
you know, Cam's Kicks to Impossible Kicks.
Yep.
I'm like, they must have gave him the world.
Yeah. Yep. No, I wish. So, yeah, that was already immediately like something that really put me back to just seeing that immediate backlash and just the feeling of just being a regular employee and posting these videos, and people are like, it feels like we're just watching someone work at Foot Locker. Like, because what really enticed people is this young business owner with a passion and really, you know what I'm saying?
I think what drove a lot of people too was, it was cool seeing, like, you know, what shoes you were buying, what you were paying on the market, because nobody was doing stuff like that really, you know what I mean? And there was bits and pieces, but like, it was just, you had your camera propped up, people were bringing shoes, people knew they could sell shoes.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Like, I definitely found something, I found a niche, and I am in no way, shape, or form the sole creator of that, but it's like I kind of revived that sneaker part of YouTube and just put a new twist on it. And the issue with that too is that it's so easily replicated. There's just, I can't even count how many channels are out there doing the exact same thing, getting way more views now and doing it better than I did because people have figured out how to do it
smarter. Is there anybody that does that now that you like, that you enjoy? Is there any YouTubers that you watch now that like you enjoy that content?
No, to be honest, I don't watch that, and I honestly don't find it the most enjoyable content. I just kind of was sticking with it and kind of reverted back to it because that's what people originally wanted to see, and it's just like I've tried so many different things, and I just love the art of filmmaking and creating videos and content in general. It's like I hate being so subjected to having to do this certain thing in sneakers. It's like, I don't know, but there's so many people that do it now. It's like I don't really find interest in watching that, so I don't blame people for taking less of an interest in it as well now. But
so if you had a chance or a choice to make your type of videos, it would be like skits, more enjoyable stuff, correct? You don't like your videos you're making now per se?
No, it's not that I dislike them, but I enjoy doing stuff like this. I like doing new stuff. I like
stepping out of your comfort zone.
Exactly, yeah, and I like creating skits. I like doing more videos that are actually meaningful and have more of a story and backstory to them. Like because I love the mainstream content like Mr. Beast, Eric. Like I don't know if you
absolutely
all that stuff. I've watched all of them on their journey going up, and it's just inspiring and just. I would love to be in that position one day, but it's like, I don't know, the part that I've been put in, I don't know if it's something I would ever achieve, like to their level, to their magnitude. They're just
and a lot of people don't understand too how hard it is trying to be unique and create daily content.
Yeah, it's very hard.
It's very hard,
yeah.
And you know, I know with us, you know, going to these events and stuff, it's very exhausting, you know.
Oh my gosh,
filming,
yeah.
doing this
stuff.
I
don't even eat. All I do is focus on this, and then I'll eat in 12 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just nonstop. So that's why I kind of took a step back from sneaker shows. I haven't been to any in months, but it looks like I'm gonna have to be getting back to them. So.
And that's also what I wanted to talk about. Now, you know, we talked about Impossible, how, you know, you branched away from them, you know, all these promises he promised you that never came true. Why Delaware? You know, why come here? You know, you have your new store here, Immaculate.
Yeah.
Why, you know, why Delaware of all places? Like, you could be anywhere, Cam.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was really trying to, again, revert back to what originally worked and what content form did people originally subscribe for, and what made me, like, how did I get into the position that I was in? And, like, I just wanted to try to replicate that and just trying to relive the glory days, if you will. But unfortunately, some things, they come and go, and you can't ever get back to the way that they were. So I wanted to do everything that I could to do that. So I was, at the time, just traveling all across the country, doing pop-ups in California, Virginia, going to sneaker shows, doing all types of stuff. And this was just on my own. I didn't have a team. I would source people that subscribed to my channel to help me film, or I try to, you know what I'm saying, just meet new people and try to build new connections and that type
And all
of
these
stuff.
expenses were coming out of your pocket too and everything.
Yeah, 100% out of my pocket. So, so I don't know when this was, but I ended up doing a pop-up in Virginia at, have you heard of Unique Souls?
Absolutely, good people there.
Yep, shout out to Brian. He's a really cool dude. So I did a pop-up there and just had a great experience. He's such a down-to-earth guy. We just had some really great, genuine conversation, like off-camera and stuff, obviously. And he just really helped me out and just kind of helped me see, because I was at the point that I've been in several times in my life to where I was like, I don't really know what I want to do because I don't have a store anymore. I'm just kind of all over the place. I don't really know what my end goal is for all this. So it's like, I want to open up another store, but it's just a matter of where. And at that time, Sneaker Tech, Henry was still in New York, so I didn't really want to go back to York and just...
And I believe at that time he was doing very well. From what it seemed like online, they were doing very well.
Yeah, I believe he was probably at that time. So I didn't want to go in there and just directly compete with someone who used to be employed.
Ruffle up some feathers up there back in New York.
So, and there was already some type of animosity, if you will. We didn't really talk about this.
Yeah, what happened? You were supposed to do a buyout there, and like it just turned out to be bad. He didn't want you coming back up there, I saw.
Yeah, so I'll jump back to this because I know one topic you wanted to touch on was how he was actually fired. So we had a Vegas pop-up. This is when the full team still worked for me and everything. And Henry and Bo got into a conflict. And
hey, could you explain to them like what happened with the conflict? Like, you know, go into detail what happened.
Yeah. So yeah, like I had already mentioned, there was this toxicity between them and constant arguments breaking out.
Just like two Rams battling heads.
Yeah, never anything physical, but it got close at some point. So, and this is the first time it actually did get physical. We were at the pop-up. Everything was going great. People were lining up, selling shoes, coming in, having a good time. And this is, keep in mind, while there was customers, viewers of the channel within this pop-up space actually there that witnessed this.
So people witnessed this when this happened.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't that many people in there at that specific moment,
but still enough to be shocking where it's like, holy fuck, what's going on?
I didn't record it or anything like that, but so basically I just bought a big collection from some guy. A bunch of really insane stuff. Like I bought a pair of Igloo Jordan 1.
Oh, like the Art Basel stuff?
Yeah, the Art Basel ones that are worth several $1,000s. Like that was in there, all types of crazy stuff. So one of the shoes in there, it was all like dead stock, size 11 and stuff, was a reverse shatter backboard Jordan 1.
Great shoe.
So yeah, grail pair of shoes. And that was Hank's size, so he was really interested in that pair, but he didn't have the money on him. So he was like...
Obviously.
Yeah, so he wanted to wait until we got back to Pennsylvania. And he said he was going to trade some stuff from his collection. So I didn't really want to wait. I was like, there's customers here now who might want to trade or buy for them. And
absolutely, it's your job as a business owner to make fucking money.
Exactly, and Bo was on the same page as me, so I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna put them out, bro. And if they don't sell, you can have them when we get back. You know what I mean? So he didn't take too kindly of that, and Bo was actually the one that was taking them out of the box and putting them back out. And
being a good employee, trying to make his boss some money.
And Henry was like, I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. I think Bo was like, I can put these out, Cam, right? And Henry's like, no, you can't. And then they started. I don't know how it happened, but they were already at each other's throats. So, and
please remember, this is in front of customers, and this is Cam's name, this is his business.
Exactly. So, just I guess that was just like the final straw. So like Henry like takes Bo by like the neck. I don't know if he actually choked him, but like puts him in basically a chokehold. He breaks his chain off, and Bo is like, so he was like, I'm gonna call the security and get you kicked out of this hotel and all this, because his mom had set up the pop-up for us through a connection that she had because she works within a hotel agency.
And a lot of people don't understand that Bo's a big dude.
Yeah.
Bo would beat the fuck out of Hank. Like, I feel like if Bo was getting angry, like Bo,
I don't know.
I think out of respect for everything, I think he was just like, I'm not gonna father, but I know. But
Bo just ended up walking away, and we did a pop-up with a store called Back at the Closet, so they were there with us. So they just
from Houston.
No, from New York.
Okay. There's a closet store, I think, in Houston. That's real big.
Yeah, no, it's not them. So they just ended up kind of going off, and going to check out some stores in the area and that type of stuff. And yeah, it was just a kind of weird environment. Bo didn't see Henry the rest of the trip, and Bo and I actually went straight to LA from that, and that was pretty crazy. We met up with some huge influencers. Mike Malak from co-host of Impulsive, Summer Rae.
Is that when you gave Summer Rae a pair of shoes? Holy fuck, that was epic.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was another not good look, I guess, because I basically gave like $10,000 worth of shoes away to celebrities. Yeah, just
10 grand for free.
Yep, just for them to be in my video. They didn't shut me out, didn't do anything, just for them to be in my video of me giving them
Now, when
shoes.
you were with the celebrities, were like, I know some of them put an act on camera. Were they nice in person, or were they just like kind of expecting it?
The FaZe people, they were complete dicks, to be honest. They weren't.
All of them.
Yeah, they were so standoffish and didn't do anything until they're on the camera. Oh wow, these shoes. You know what I'm saying? Mike Malak, he was a super cool dude. I didn't even ask him. He gave me a whole house tour of Logan Paul's mansion, like the pigs in the back, his boxing ring. That was a cool experience.
Shout out to Mike, good
Yeah,
dude.
shout out to Mike. Yeah, he's a cool dude. Summer Rae, it was really cool to meet her. She was.
I bet it would be real cool to see her.
Yeah, I thought she was really hot growing up.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
That was
I'd
pretty
be
cool.
real into that.
Yeah, so but she was about to go off to some dinner or something, so she didn't have a whole time. We met her outside of like a hotel or something. I don't know where.
Now,
it was.
was this your idea, Kim? Like, you know what? I might spark some news. Whose idea was
this? Wasn't my idea. I can't even say whose it was because I'm in a legal issue with them. This is a whole other thing. I'm not going to even get.
Yeah, don't worry.
There's so much crazy stuff that's happened, but someone else's idea. It wasn't mine. A terrible idea because I lost thousands of dollars from that, bro.
And, you know, they're rich. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. They could have bought it themselves, and that's why there was backlash on that as well. They're like, why are you giving these rich people these shoes that they could just buy? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, it was really cool because that was the first time I had really done any type of collaboration with any people that.
And you were excited, you know. You're like, I might get a pop tag, you know, I might get featured. None of that ever happened.
I think FaZe Temper, he followed me at one point. I think he unfollowed me now, but I think that was about it. Yeah, I don't think anything.
No, my person was FaZe Banks there.
Nah, he wasn't there.
I would have loved it. That's the one guy I want to meet. I think he's a cool dude.
He's been off social media for a good while. He's gone through a lot of like mental health stuff and that type of stuff. So I just watched actually. He did a podcast with Logan Paul. He was on Impulsive. That was a pretty good podcast.
Him and Keemstar used to have a podcast. You know who Keemstar is?
Oh, really? Yeah. No, bro, that was the golden age of YouTube. Like,
a lot of you guys that don't know this,
God.
like iDubbbz, like, you know, Filthy
2016 YouTube, bro, that was amazing. That was the best time of YouTube ever.
H3 was incredible.
Yep, all of them, man.
That was like
Rice Gum. Did you watch Rice Gum?
Oh my God, absolutely.
Bro, his diss tracks, they were legendary, bro.
It's just crazy because, you know, you go there, you meet these people, they try to be pieces of shit, and they're like ruining it for you because, like, you idolize these guys growing up.
Right, exactly. But it's just how this world is a lot of the time. So, yeah. So, anyways, so me and Bo are off to LA, and Ronnie and Henry go back to Pennsylvania to run the store while we're off in LA. And I don't know how Hank felt about that. I'm guessing probably not good. Like, we're doing like literally Hollywood stuff while he's going
Hank
back.
was still on your team when this happened. You have not fired him yet.
Yeah, I hadn't fired him yet. I was still trying to figure out what to do. So Bo and I had conversations, and they're like, "Yeah, we gotta let this guy go." So it's like, as soon as I got back, I told him to meet me at the store, and he could already tell what was happening. He had his keys and his business card turned in on the table. He had like a little table set up in there that he had some of, like, I don't remember what, but he took his stuff, and we saw him loading it into his car. I just told him, like, "I'm pretty sure you know why you're here." He's like, "Yeah, I do." He looked like he was about to cry, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, man. It's just what happened. I just can't let that continue. It's been a toxic work environment. I'm gonna have to let you go." And that was it. I didn't talk to him again until I had the Dallas store, because it was even weird. Like, I felt like he was doing some stuff that was kind of snaky, like going in behind my back when he knew I wasn't at the store to kind of buy my inventory and like put this persona off on camera, like he's a big dog, like he's buying my store out and kind of making it look like he's putting us out of business. Like, he was, I don't know, I didn't like the way, it didn't rub off well on me.
See, my thing is, you know, the first time I met Hank was in Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to him for hours. I never suspected he was a slime ball or anything like that.
Yeah.
He was just really the nicest guy.
Very manipulative, and that's
he was very great talker,
course,
very, you know, persuasive and stuff. I'm talking to him, he always you know, he was always a big, you know, he was always talking about, you know, how much money he had, you know, how much money he was spending, you know, buying all this stuff like that.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, you're a cool dude. And then things happened, and, you know, this thing came out about him, and I was like, never fucking suspected it, ever.
Yeah, so I finally started talking to him again because I wanted to kind of get everyone together again.
Recently? You talked to Hank recently?
No, I haven't talked to him recently. Not since all
You're
this
still
stuff
on the hunt, Hank. We wonder where you're fucking at.
Yeah, not recently. I'm saying, so like when I had the Dallas store, so this was
okay.
probably in December or January. I don't know if you ever saw that video, but we did like kind of a...
Yeah, he made an appearance in your store, didn't he?
Yeah, we did like a kind of a reunion type thing. He came out with the other Henry. We filmed some great videos together. Like we did a Gray Hoodie Guy skit for old time's sake, so it was pretty fun. I thought that was a pretty good experience. Everything went well then, and we kind of squashed the beef and we're like on good terms again and stuff like that. Now, fast forward down the line to when I lost both my stores. I quit Impossible Kicks and I was just reselling on my own again. I started to go a little bit off the rails, getting into some crazy drama stuff, which I always find my way back to, and it sucks. I say I'm not going to do it again, and I'm only human. I'm going to make mistakes. I know I'm going to continue to keep making mistakes. I just have to try to get better, and it doesn't always seem like it because I do the exact opposite of what I say half the time. But anyways, I do the whole thing with Blazonary, and that video goes viral, and then I have the confrontation with Sneak City and all that, and then that gets backlash, so it's like two of the extremes so close together, getting a lot of views again when I hadn't been getting much views recently, and then videos after that start getting views because people from watching that are going to watch the next videos, you know what I'm saying? So it seemed like I was doing well. That was when I had hired Tripping as an editor too, so we just made a great combo. Like he was just making my content that next level up and just making it more watchable and enjoyable. So yeah, it seemed like I was kind of down a destructive path, and Hank didn't want any part of that, so we were supposed to have a pop-up. I was supposed to go to his store because
I remember that.
Yep, I was trying to do a pop-up in 50 states, and for Pennsylvania, I wanted to do it at his store in York for old time's sake. So just as we were about to have it, like just before he calls me, we're talking for like an hour, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't think this is a good look for sneaker tech. I don't want you a part of this. It was just with all this controversy you've been involved in lately. I just don't think it's a good look for us." So
and little did he know what storm he had brewing up.
Oh my goodness. So, and I just took that I know it's business and I shouldn't have, but I just took that very personally because I helped him get to the point to where he was at, and I helped him when he was at his lowest, but when I felt like I was at one of my low points, it didn't seem like he wanted to reciprocate that with me. And
do you think that you shaped his career in a sense?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't want to sound cocky.
No, that's what we're here. That's what we're here.
I mean,
all honesty,
people wouldn't know who he was if it wasn't for him being on my channel, and obviously he helped my channel grow as well. We had that. It was mutual though. I mean, people loved seeing him in the videos. They loved the banter between us. They loved seeing him make deals. You know what I'm saying? It was a different. I don't know what the word is. Like it just created a different atmosphere. It was so much better than just me stick figured like this in front of the camera, not knowing how to do anything. Like just having other people in the videos just made it that much better, and that's what really took it to that next level in my opinion. So
you're like in a cast.
Yeah, it was. It felt like we were running some reality TV show. It was the dream, man. It's just I would do many things to get back to that, but I know it's just you have to learn from your mistakes and just keep moving forward. It's in the past, and unfortunately, as good as it was, it's never going to get back there. So
now, you know, as we're winding towards the end of the podcast, what is the next step for Cam? Like, what do you see yourself doing for 2023? What do you want to tell the audience? You know, what do you have coming up? What's going on?
Yeah, so this is going to be tough. So, and a lot of people might have said they saw it coming or what, but I haven't publicly announced this yet, and I don't know if this will be the first time I am, or I think I'm going to make a separate video at some point. I don't know exactly what I'm going to say in it, but yeah, after everything, it looks like I'm losing another store. So. And this one, though, I will say it was not in any way, shape, or form self-inflicted. Now, I take full accountability for the other things that happened. That was completely my fault. But this was completely different, something I never could have seen coming. And the business actually was profitable. We've only been open here for a couple months. But we received a letter from the owner of the mall saying that according to our lease contract that we signed, they can terminate us at any time without cause or reason all they had to do is give us a 30 days prior written notice, which they've already given us, and that's it. We tried to fight them on it, but they're a very large corporation, and it's because another large corporation within this mall, who's a retail store, which isn't even a conflict of interest in my opinion, has been infuriated with us being here, and they said that we violated their non-compete clause that they have in their contract. So it's like, obviously, a big corporation is gonna side with them over a small business that just started like ourselves. So it's like,
Which is sickening.
it is, yeah. So now it's just a matter of like what to do next. So it's like I've already been so many different places. I've lived in so many different states at this point, tried so many different things. It looks like ultimately, at least at this time, I don't know if a sneaker store is the best route to go, just because I had the one in South Carolina. I didn't fully own that one, obviously, but I mean, then I had one in York, which was very successful, but then I had one in Dallas, which wasn't successful, and now this one, is it successful? I don't really know, because we're getting kicked out. We didn't have a long enough
Well,
time
it
business.
seems like from here, what I've noticed too, I mean, besides your Dallas store, you were selling shoes here. You know, I would
Yeah.
check your Instagram out. People were always buying off you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, you know, there's some things that are out of your reach or out of your control.
Of course.
If a big corporation, you know, especially when they sign these big leases, these malls, they have the jurisdiction. You know, they're
Yep.
going to control things. I don't think it was a failure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, you know, you have built yourself, and you have such a, you know, an online presence that you could sell stuff online and, you know, live your life, enjoy your life, you know, buying, selling shoes, making content, you know, trying to step out of your comfort zone and film skits. You know, sometimes the crowd's reaction might not be what you expect, but sometimes it's these little videos that like you put out that somebody might love.
Yeah, and that's why I'm grateful for you being here as well, because this was such a, I don't think things are a coincidence. I think everything does happen for a reason. So I think this literally is the perfect time to address all this stuff and just kind of have another just look on everything that's happened and self-reflection, and just kind of see what the next steps are, and just with everything that's happening in just another business that doesn't look like it's going to work out. It's crazy to see, but there's a lot of hard lessons you have to learn in life, and the most important thing is that you take whatever lesson you can learn from that and just apply that in your future and only grow from it and be unstoppable. So
I think the big thing you need to understand too, Cam, is you're a young dude.
yeah.
You're 21.
The thing is, though, I'm so hard on myself, and I'm harder on myself than anyone could ever be. Like, I know I'm young, but I want to be the most successful person I can be. So it's hard to take those little things. You know what I mean?
And the thing that, you know, I want to tell you too is nobody who's ever been real successful, Elon Musk, Bill Gates,
Yeah.
all these guys have failed not once,
Oh,
numerous
I
times.
know.
You know, all these guys have failed so many times. Every time you fail, you're going to get better.
That's
you know,
true.
for me and my business, we're still learning. We're still trying to get over the curve. And sometimes when, you know, you're having a rough spot, you know, you're really trying to figure things out, that's when you have your, you know, your light bulb moment.
Yeah, I mean,
You know
that's
what I mean?
definitely at some of my lowest points is when I was really able to kind of snap out of it and kind of see some of those things and kind of get me back on my feet, and like, you know what, I'm not going to just keep living like this every day. I need to make a change and get back to where I was, and no one can stop me.
And like I said before, Kim, a lot of these people, they don't have reflection, you know.
Yeah.
They can't see it. They say, I did nothing wrong. You know what I mean? You saying you've made mistakes.
Oh, I
you
did a
fucked
million
up.
things wrong.
And you know, the thing is too, you know, it's not like you're 50, 60 years old.
Yeah,
You're
I
a
know.
young dude. You have your whole life, you know, to
Yeah.
bounce back. And plus, this is something that's out of your control.
That's true.
You know what I mean? You might come back, you know, there might be an opportunity that pops up that just changes your life forever.
There might be what?
An opportunity that just changes your life
Oh,
forever.
yeah, I mean, you never know, and so many of these opportunities that were presented in front of me were because of other things that happened. That's why I don't believe in coincidences, because if one event didn't occur, then this event can't occur. So it all is in correlation to each other, and all revolves around a circle. So,
Is there anything else you want to get off your chest?
no, man, I think we covered a lot of subjects. I think this was a very good talk. Thank you again for coming out here. I think this was a great podcast, a great
No, thank you.
episode.
This was
Yeah.
epic.
Yeah, no problem, man. And I'm glad too. I like having these opportunities too, because I don't get a lot of them. I don't do it enough. Just where I can really be open and transparent and just kind of talk about a lot of things and reflect on things. Because a lot of people will see me because, like one thing too, like, because how did you, like, being completely honest, like, how did you perceive me, like, even before doing this? Because I know you had some type of, I don't know if it was more on the internet or what it was, but some type of stigma about.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And I want to address this to the viewers. A lot of you guys know this. The first time I met Cam wasn't a good situation.
Yeah.
I thought he was an asshole. You know what I mean?
I don't blame you.
Everybody has stigmas and stuff, and a lot of you guys don't understand this. When I was judging Cam simply on what I saw online. You know what I mean? From what I heard from different people, I had, this perception in my head of what he's like. When you guys are in the comment section, writing nasty things, calling him a piece of shit or something, there's a person behind the camera. You know what I mean? A lot of you guys take things way too seriously.
Yeah.
You're out there.
Everyone takes everything way too seriously.
A lot of you guys, you'll write mean things. You're a shadow behind the camera. You know what I mean? These people will write anonymous things like, I hate you.
Yeah.
You have no idea what these words are do to people. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Cam's still, he's still a kid. Me, I'm an adult. Things just happen.
That's the thing. I mean, I'm 21 now. Can you really say I'm still a kid? That's
absolutely, you're a kid, dude. You're still growing. Like me, when I was 21, I was a fucking degenerate. You know what I mean? Like I was doing terrible things.
Yeah, I got you.
As you get older,
how old are you now? I don't even know.
26.
26. Okay.
As you get older, for Cam to have self-reflection, I still don't think I do things wrong. I think I'm perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, everyone does things wrong. So
it's really cool to see, to know where you're at. And I see now that, things have hit a little rough spot, but just don't give up. Yeah. Keep pursuing what you're doing. Keep chugging.
And that's one thing I've always had too, is if even if I didn't have the best business sense and I'm learning things as I go, I've always had ambition and drive, and it's just once I get something set in my mind, I just become so obsessed with it and just
can't think, you just let it go.
Exactly. So,
but guys, I just want to say this was an honor. Very surreal. I got to interview this man today. It was fucking incredible. I'm excited to see what Cam's got coming in 2023. And you know what, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in. Neecs to the motherfucking moon, baby.
Neecs to the motherfucking moon.
That's right. All right, the podcast is ending. Cam, how do you feel about this podcast?
I feel really good, man. I think I got a lot off my chest. I think it was really good.
Was it easier or harder than you thought?
I didn't think it was going to be hard. I mean, I've done some interviews before. I've done podcasts. I watched a lot of them, so I was looking forward to it. I think there's a lot to say and a lot to cover, so I think it was a fun time.
It's crazy because, I've had this perception of this man for so long, and to finally pick his brain and talk to him, it finally feels good to, put the puzzle pieces together. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll make sure to link Cam down below. Seriously, it was an honor. Neecs to the moon, baby. It's currently 1 o'clock at night. The big bear's fucking dead. I'm exhausted. Looks like there's a woo-woo right up ahead though, so making a few hoogies. So keep me awake, but the fun doesn't just end now. Actually, believe it or not, I gotta get a mani-pedi tomorrow, because the big bear takes care of himself. And then I gotta drive the whole way to Robinson to get something pretty cool for you guys. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna be at peak exhaustion. Pray for me in the comments. Oh yeah, Cam's kicks was awesome. I was very surprised how different he is in person. A lot of people don't understand, when you see somebody online, you perceive somebody a certain way. He's very nice in person, very sociable, the hospitality was very nice. I enjoyed our time, it was nice. I really hope he has a good new year. He seems down on himself. I really hope he gets out of this rut. I know a lot of you younger guys who watch me get depressed easily. When you're young, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody fucks up. It's part of life. But don't be down upon yourself. Sometimes the best opportunities come out of a bad situation. So hopefully he can figure out himself and become a better person. But I really enjoyed the interview. It was great. But I just want to get home. I'm fucking tired. It is the next morning. I am very groggy. I want to just fucking sleep all day. It's raining, it's cold. But the new merch is here. Most of it's here. So we're going to go over to our buddy's place, go pick it up. So I'm excited about that. But I'm just ready for Christmas. I want to relax a little bit. So get this merch. Can't wait to show you guys in person what it looks like, so I'll keep you updated when we get there. Absolutely fire. Nick killed it. I cannot wait to get more merch done. I'm telling you guys, the material's crazy. And for the people bitching about pre-orders, it's a pre-order. It's coming. Everything will be shipped out Monday, so stay tuned. Very hyped how the shirts came out. I cannot wait till you guys get them in hand. They're amazing quality. But guys, listen, we had a great time from yesterday, non-stop driving, the Cam's Kicks video, the podcast. Everything was fucking awesome and crazy. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. If you do want to buy a shirt, we do have sizes available. Please make sure to message us. And also, hit that red subscribe button. I wanted 10,000 subscribers soon. I think we fucking deserve it here. I want my Cubs to grow. So, guys, I'm so glad you enjoyed the video. And Neecs to the motherfucking moon, baby.
Bitch, Maybach truck in the coupe. Only time I'm going back and forth is for the juice.